So first off, I want to say thanks to everybody coming in the pouring rain of beautiful Costa Rica. So this is our quote keto class, and the way that this came about, let me just tell you, is it started actually with Dan. You guys know Dan, my partner with Tank Top Flip Flops, the artist behind all the drawings. So Dan went to Texas a few months ago, ran into a buddy of his that got him talking about keto, and he came back. And when we do our t-shirt sales, we drink a lot of beer. I mean, we would drink a lot of beer, 12, 15 beers all day selling t-shirts. And Dan comes back, and the first thing he does is he orders a vodka club soda and not a beer. And I looked at him like he was out of his mind. And then I looked at him, and he looked a lot thinner than when he started. So while we're selling shirts, he's telling me that his buddy got him hooked on this thing called keto. And he's telling it to me, and he told me that he lost almost 30 pounds in the month that he was gone to Texas. At the same time, Mike Mills went up to San Jose to have a thing about his back done. And the first thing the back doctor told him is, before we can fix your back, you gotta lose some weight. You're overweight. And he said, you gotta get on this keto diet. Then the next day, what was it, the Soul Fest? Or the Soul Fest happened, and there was a photo of me in a tank top, and I really noticed that I was looking fat. And I'm not a fat guy. I've never been a fat guy. But 20 years of drinking a lot of beer and being lazy, it caught up to me, and I didn't like the photo that I saw. So I went on keto. I went online, and I read about keto, and it said, well, you can't eat this, and you can't eat that, and you gotta eat this, and you gotta eat that, and you gotta have low carbs. So I started what I thought was doing keto, which was eating very low carbs, which meant no rice and no potatoes and no bread, and I stopped drinking beer, and I started eating some of the things I was supposed to eat, like more meat, more chicken, and more fish. This is easy, I can do this. And 2 weeks went by, and I lost 1 pound. And I'm like, meanwhile, Mike's telling me he lost 12 pounds in his 2 weeks. Yeah, and he told me he'd lost almost 30 pounds. So I called Dan and I said, I'm doing something wrong. He says, no, you got to track every single thing that you eat. Every single thing. He says, you got to download this one particular app, and you got to watch every single thing that you eat. And he started saying, I don't think you realize that a lot of the stuff you eat has a lot more carbs than you think. And so he started talking to me about things. He says, did you know that eggs have 1 carb? I'm like, eggs have a carb? A stick of gum has a carb? And so he started rattling off some of these things that I wouldn't have thought had carbs. I just assumed carbs were bread, rice, beans, potatoes, and beer. Those are the 5 carb groups in my book, and everything else wasn't carbs. So I went over, Dan got me on this app, and it's called Carb Manager, and we're going to help you download the app. And Mike Mills had forwarded me something called Keto Recipes, which is a great app because it tells you what you can and can't eat. It actually has hundreds of recipes on it, and it just kind of gives you the whole awareness about how keto works. What's that?
Pictures.
Oh yeah, pictures, everything. And we'll show you all this. So I started really looking into keto, and I started really getting into keto. And I started realizing that keto is really a lifestyle. It's not so much of a diet. When we think of diets, we think of calories, right? You can only eat, let's say you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories a day, and it makes sense that if you eat 1,500 calories a day, you're going to lose weight. And you will lose weight. But might take you a very, 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 very long time to lose weight. And in many cases, you're starving yourself because you're eating 25% less calories than your body needs. And the thing about keto is calories are not that important. Calories are good. It's okay to eat a lot of calories as long as they're good calories and they go with what keto wants you to do and not bad calories. Bad calories, for instance, would be ice cream. Good calories would be filet mignon or a beautiful piece of fish or tuna. Okay, good calories versus bad calories. So what I learned is you don't really worry about your calories, you worry about your carb. So the way your body works is everybody's body survives on carbs. And your body eats carbs to live. And the problem is, the older we get, our metabolism slows down, Our body doesn't need as many carbs. Most of us, unless we're these Iron Man guys, we're not exercising more. We're probably exercising less. We're eating bad carbs. And all of a sudden, those carbs and the sugar starts to turn into fat, and we start to put on weight. For men, we put it here. For most women, we put it here. And the next thing you know, you wake up in the mirror one day and you're like, man, how did I put on 10 or 15 or 20 extra pounds? Because I'm eating good. I generally ate pretty healthy compared to most men. I didn't just eat, McDonald's bacon double cheeseburgers all the time. I ate relatively well. I had fish every day, but I also ate a lot of carbs, and there were also a lot of things that I ate that had a lot of sugar. Like fruit. I made a big fruit smoothie every single day. Well, that fruit turns to sugar, and that sugar turns to fat, unless you're Mr. Exercise and you're out running and burning that off, which I'm not. So what happens is your body eats carbs, it eats carbs, it eats carbs every day. Well, what keto basically does is it talks your body into eating fat and burning fat instead of burning carbs. So what you're doing is you're tricking your body into burning the fat and living on fat instead of living on carbs. For instance, professional athletes eat thousands of carbs a day, pastas and stuff, but they're also professional athletes, right? And they're playing football and hockey and baseball, and that's not most of them, right? So it's almost like being on a desert island is how I thought about it. If you go on a desert island, you're not eating any food, pretty soon your body's going to start to, go into survival mode, and it's going to start eating away the fat at your body to live because you're not getting in any nutrients. And that's kind of how I looked at keto, is I've got to starve my body of carbs, almost as if I'm on a deserted island, and convince my body to start burning fat. So what it is you go into the keto diet, and you're basically on a very low carb diet, you're on a high protein and a high fat diet. And the app that we're gonna set you up with will tell you where you need to be. It'll put in your age, it'll put in your weight, it'll put in your height, you tell it how much you exercise, you gotta be totally honest with the app, and then it will tell you this is how many carbs you need to eat, and this is how much protein, and this is how much fat you need to take in every day. And good fat, most of it is good fat. So it's not just pure fat, it's steaks and things that have really good healthy fat with it, okay? So what happens is when you go on the keto diet, for the first 3 or 4 days, you're starving your body of carbs. You're eating a ton, I'm eating steak, I'm eating bacon, I'm eating chicken, I'm putting butter on everything, but I'm eating almost no carbs. And your body's searching for carbs, and it's searching for carbs, and it's searching for carbs, and on about day 4, your body says, we're starving to death, we're on a desert island, and it goes into what's called ketosis, and that's where the name keto comes from. And your body switches, and on about day 5, right, your body starts burning fat. And literally you wake up, and I would see a pound a day. Some days I would wake up and lose 2 pounds in one day, because now my body is burning fat. So I'm eating fat, and I'm eating protein to burn fat. It's the opposite of what you would think. You would think if you want to be on a diet, you don't want any fat. It's the other way around. You want to eat fat, and you want to lower your carbs to almost nothing, as minimal carbs as possible. And if you do eat carbs, you want to keep them very low in a healthy carb. Like when you eat eggs, you're going to have a carb. When you have a sliced tomato, you're going to have a carb. But you got to stay away from the really high carb stuff like rice and potatoes and those types of things. The deal is with this diet, and again, I look at it more as a lifestyle than a quote diet. You can't cheat, not one time. The thing is with most diets, if you're on a calorie diet and you're doing that 1,500 calories instead of 2,000, and one day you say, oh, to heck with it, you have a big bowl of ice cream and a pizza, no big deal. You ate 2,500, the next day you go back to 1,500 calories, no big deal, because that calorie diet is over months and months. The keto diet is over 30 days. So you're not on keto, you're not on keto, you're not on keto. On day 4, boom, your body plummets into ketosis. If you go over your carbs one day, you cheat one day, boom, you bounce back out of ketosis. And you're back, even though you're still eating the same stuff. It takes you 4 or 5 days to get back into ketosis. So that one day of cheating, that one bowl of ice cream, or that one slice of pizza, or that one peanut butter and jelly sandwich with bread, bounces you back out, and you lost a whole 5 days of what you're trying to do, which is to burn that fat. So the first thing you just got to make a decision is, you want to do this, and I did, because I got tired of looking in the mirror, I got tired of being 20 pounds overweight, and I wanted to do something about it. because again, I was never a fat guy. So I was like, this is just not who I am, and I want to do something. So I never cheated once, not one single day did I cheat. And I'm not going to say it was easy, but it wasn't that hard. There was really only 2 or 3 times in 30 days where I was like, you know, I really needed a fix of maybe ice cream or something. And I have solutions for some of those things where you can feed that fix. There were days that I wanted a muffin. Well, we have a muffin that we're going to teach you, okay, that is a keto muffin. So when I had that day, I had to have some bread. I was able to have that bread, but it's a keto piece of bread. So you just got to make a decision that you want to do it. You got to stay on it. You got to track everything that you do. It's really super easy once you get into it, and it's fun. We found ourselves calling each other up and sharing recipes. I'm calling them up, I lost 3 more pounds. I mean, you're super fired up, and it becomes like this goal that you want to hit. But you've got to be diligent about it. You've got to be persistent. So what happens is the CARB is going to tell you, the app is going to tell you how many carbs you can eat, how many proteins, and how much fat. Your carb, for the most part, are going to be a maximum of 20 carbs a day. Okay? 20 carbs a day, most of you, and mine actually came when he first set my my app. You can go in and put it, it said like 28, and Dan lowered it to 20. So if you want to lose weight, don't eat more than 20 carbs a day, ever. And I'll go through and show you all 30 of my days that I was on 34 days I was on keto. And 2 days I did like 21 or 22. I never went over 20. Some days I only did 12, 15. So it's okay to do less carbs. Okay, so if you, at the end of the day you didn't hit your carbs, that's great. But if it tells you got to eat 171 grams of fat and 150 grams of protein, you got to hit that goal. So you can't, if you're 170, you can't do 150, which means at night you might have to eat a half a can of tuna before you go to bed to get that last 20 grams of protein. Or you might have to eat a spoonful of butter, literally, to hit that last 10 grams of fat. Or you could take some fish oil pills or some other things that I'm going to show you that help you hit your fat. But you have to hit your fat goal and you have to hit your protein goal every day, whatever it takes. You don't have to hit your carb goal. Matter of fact, if you can figure out how to only do 15 carbs every day for the 30 days, even better. But you can't be at 25. Because if you're at 25, there's a chance you bounce out of ketosis and all that hard work went down the drain for nothing, right? So the goal is you got to stick to it, you got to be on it, and you got to be persistent with it, and you got to hit those goals. Now let me show you something. This is real. I lost 25 pounds in 34 days. That's real, man. I mean, I'm 2 or 3 sizes. The bad part is, scary. Unfortunately, the 25 pounds didn't go down there. But the point is, that's real. Those are real. That's just a regular pair of pants that I wore that I had to get in that was really tight. And I lost 25 pounds in 34 days. I was only going to do 28 days instead of 30. You're supposed to do it for 30, and I'll tell you why. Because on day 28, the reason that I started the date that I did, because 28 days later, I was flying to Wisconsin to see a rock concert and a baseball game with 2 of my best buddies for his 50th birthday. And I was like, I know I'm going to be drinking beer and eating pizza. So I said, I'm only doing it for 28 days because I figured by the time I get to day 28, I'm going to be so desperate for a beer and so desperate for a pizza and so desperate for all the stuff I haven't been eating that I'm going to get there and gorge. Well, guess what? I got there on day 28. I had no desire to have a beer. I had no desire to have a piece of bread because my body lost its desire to eat those carbs because it was used to eating the other stuff. And I ended up going 6 more days. I was at 19 pounds when I got to Wisconsin, and I did it another 6 days and then came back and lost another 5 or 6 pounds. And it was about 24, 25, and 24 and a half, something like that pounds. So I actually ended up going another 6 days longer, 5 days longer, because I really thought I was not going to be able to make it. What happens is the first 3 or 4 days is the only time really that you find yourself kind of weirding out a little bit because your body is desperate for carbs. I would eat 3 steaks, 4 pieces of bacon, 4 eggs, all this stuff, and I would be hungry at night because my body was looking for carbs. So my body was telling me, my brain was telling me I'm hungry. And I'm thinking, there's no way I can be hungry. It's impossible for me to be hungry. I mean, I look at I had 2,386 calories today. I mean, I had steak all day, eggs all day, tuna, butter. There's no way, but I'm like, God, I'm starving to death because my body was looking for those carbs. So the first 3 days really, for me, is the toughest. Because mentally, you're like, you want that bread, you want that pizza, you want that beer, you want that ice cream, you want those fixes. But I was just determined to do it. And I thought, hey, well, it's going to be this hard for 30 days. I can do it. I can do anything for 30 days. But on day 4, literally 5, all those desires went away. I was like, I didn't even want bread. I looked at bread, it almost made me sick. I'm like, I don't want it. Because I was so into what I was doing. And at night I would sleep, and I was literally dreaming of like Pac-Man. Remember the old Pac-Man video game? I was dreaming of like Pac-Man eating the fat in my body. Seriously, I was getting so fired up. I'm going to bed. I'm like, eat it, kill it, eat it, like asteroids shooting all the fat cells. I was getting pumped, and then I'd wake up and I was down 1.5 pounds. I mean, it's insane to see. It's incredible. Then at the end of the 30 days, if you haven't hit your goal, because some people need to lose more weight, you get off of keto. You don't want to do it more than 30 days. 33, 35. And what you do though, is you go to a lower carb diet. So you increase your carbs to maybe 30 or 40, and you bring your protein down, and we'll help you with that when you're done. You want to call us. He helped me reset my thing. And I just kept the low carb, but I started eating some healthy carbs in the 2nd month. Because what you wanted to see is at that end of that 2nd month, some people gain back some weight. And you might have to go on keto a 2nd time. Mike's on keto now a 2nd time. He did it, lost 30 pounds, 29 pounds, went off it for 30 or 40 days. Now he's back on it because he needs to lose another 10. He was about 40 or 45 pounds overweight, so he's got to do it twice. But that 2nd month was very crucial for me to make sure that I kind of found my even keel. And now, I mean, I'm eating some. I had a pizza, I've had some beers, but I'm aware of what I'm eating. So I'm thinking and paying attention, right? I only have 1 or 2 beers, and then I'll go to a vodka club soda. Okay, I have 1 or 2 slices of pizza, not a whole pizza. I still am trying to stay away from the really hard stuff like potatoes and the things that can really, hit you with a lot of carbs. Ice cream. I'm an ice cream nut. I would literally have a bowl of ice cream with sprinkles on top every night. That was my cocaine addiction right there. Vanilla ice cream, baby. And you know what? I found a fix for that I take at night now that tastes just like it, that's super healthy for me, and I haven't had a bowl of ice cream in 3 months. I'm going on 3 months from when I started. I started in early April, and here we are in early July. And I've gone up 1 pound since I got off keto. I only gained 1 pound back. So I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm going to stay on it for the next 4 or 5 months. But the nice thing is about keto is that I know all of a sudden, boom, I put on 5 or 6 pounds. I know I can go back on keto for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and lose that really quick and be back where I'm at. So I just brought some products to give you an idea. And the cool thing about this app, and we're going to help you all set up the app. So the app is called Carb Manager, and the app literally tracks everything that you eat. So you will write in everything that you eat. If you have 1 almond, you put in 1 almond. Whatever you put in your body, you've got to track every single thing. A spoonful of butter. If you're cooking eggs with a tablespoon of butter, you put a tablespoon of butter, okay? And the neat thing about this app is you can go to the store and you hit foods and you scroll to scan, and it's got a camera, okay? And the camera, hang on, let me use this as an example first. The camera will take a picture of the barcode and tell you if it's good or it's not good. So I'm in the auto mercado. You'll still see me now. Everything I buy, I scan it to see what it is. So I always like the little protein bar in the middle of the day to keep my energy going as I'm running around selling houses, right? And this was one of my favorite protein bars. It was in my pantry. So, wait, we got a bad light here. Hang on. Yeah, it's supposed to. Sideways. Yeah, maybe I got it back. I know what it's going to tell you. It will tell me. It's supposed to. Yeah, it's too dark. I need some light. There we go. So it takes a picture of it, and it comes up, and it says, keto grade F, avoid. F, run. You know why? Because this one bar that I ate every day has 42 grams of carbs. More carbs in one bar than I'm allowed to eat in 2 days on keto. So guess what? I gave those all to a very small girl that I know and said, eat all of these. And I took them right out of my cabinet. Then Then I went to the Mercado, and I started scanning different boxes. And then I found this one. This one, maybe not. And I scanned it, and it says, Keto, A. Just like in school. A, I'll show you all this stuff. And it's only 10 carbs. So what I would do is I would take half of these when I needed a little fix in the middle of the day for protein. I'd cut it in half, have half a bar, and have a little energy, and it's only 5 carbs. I still got 15 more to go. So I'm just using these as examples because I wanted to scan it, and I hope these are some of the boxes that I still had in my trash can. But the point is, the app will tell you, and you can type in anything, chicken, bananas, anything, Smuckers, and brand names, anything in the whole wide world, and it will tell you A, B, or F. A is awesome, B is use it very lightly once in a while, and F is run. Don't touch it, don't eat it, don't put it in your mouth, don't go anywhere near it. I went through my house when I started, and I pulled everything out of the cabinet, and I I scanned everything in my cabinet. And if it was good, I put OK on it. So at 7 o'clock at night, when I had 3 Jack Daniels, and I didn't have to remember if it was good or not, it had OK. And the things that were F, I just gave them away. I just gave them to my maid. I just got them out of my house, so I didn't even take a chance. I just got rid of it. With the exception of, some certain sauces that I have, steak sauces and stuff that are expensive, and I just put those in the back, put them in a box and put no. So I didn't go anywhere near it. But this way I wouldn't accidentally grab something that might pump me over my keto, my carb count, does that make sense? And send me out of ketosis. So these are some of the good things that you can buy right here at the Mercado. So first off, if you want to do any baking, coconut flour and almond flour instead of regular flour, which is terrible for you. They just got this at the grocery store. It's called naranja nada, orange nothing. There's 0 carbs. And it's like an orange Fanta drink. It's great with real vitamin C. Well, there's a bunch of them, but they all say 0 carbs, and you can scan it and it says 0 carbs. This is great. If you want to have a vodka orange juice, use this instead. You want a glass of OJ in the morning, use this instead. Okay? Hang on, listen up. Right. This is super mandatory. Coconut oil. You want to cook with coconut oil? You want to cook with real butter? You want to cook with avocado oil? Another one is flaxseed oil. Is really good. Lots of really good. You want to stay away from the old vegetable oil, the Crisco. Stay away from that. Okay. Olive oil is good too, but these are the best. The best thing you can cook with. I would make my eggs every single day with coconut oil. Every single day. And butter, okay? Or ghee. We would start our day every day. Everybody loves their coffee, right? Well, this right here is a killer. 1 scoop of this is like 6 or 8 carbs. And I would put 2 scoops. So I would use half my carbs in the morning in a cup of coffee. No more coffee mate for 30 days, okay? So instead, there's something called Bulletproof Coffee. It's called Bulletproof Coffee, and it's in the app. What Bulletproof Coffee is you have your cup of coffee, and you got to measure a cup, because the coffee cup is more than a cup. Okay, it's a cup and a half. And a cup of coffee has 1 carb. So if you have 2 cups of coffee, you burned up 2 of your 20 carbs. So you got to start figuring out how valuable is those carbs. How valuable is that second cup of coffee versus saving that carb for dinner when you might need it when you're adding a couple tomatoes or something to the dinner, right? And within time, you're going to learn. I mean, I literally knew every day what I could eat. By the 4th or 5th day, I had it all figured out. But in the beginning, you got to play with it a little bit. You got to learn what works for you. So, Bulletproof Coffee is a cup of coffee with 1 tablespoon. Again, you got to put a real tablespoon of coconut oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. And I know you're thinking that is so weird. It is so awesome, huh? Even when I got off keto, I wanted to drink it because it's so good once you get used to the oil and the butter. It's great. And if you need a little bit of that milky flavor to it, like we like the cream, you can buy almond cream. Almond cream. Okay? And a tablespoon of this is only 1 carb, but it's got a lot of fat. It's got like 10 grams of fat, so it helps you hit your fat. That's why the oil and the butter in the morning is so easy, because the hardest thing for me was to eat all the fat. Now, where am I going to get my butter? Where am I going to get my coconut oil? So by starting the day with a tablespoon of coconut oil and a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of almond oil, I already hit like 25% of my fat for the day, right there in my first cup of coffee, which made it super, super easy. And I got my little creaminess to my coffee that I like, because I like the cream in my coffee, so to speak. So the almond cream was really good for me. Tuna, greatest thing you can do in the whole world. You want to hammer out some protein, just get a can of tuna, eat a can of tuna, and there's a ton of protein in the tuna. Really easy. Cream cheese, fantastic cream cheese, man. Unbelievable. If you need some fat at the end of the day, you just take a couple fish oil pills. They sell them at the GNC, at the pharmacy, right? And it tells you how many fish oil. You scan it, it tells you which pill, how much fat each pill is, because every one of these is different. Some have more fat than others depending on the content of the fish oil pill. So you scan the barcode again with the app and it tells you. You need protein, these things are great. These GNC lean milk, and where's the other one? There's muscle milk, they sell them in there's like 0 carbs, 1 carb, and a whole ton of fat and protein.
Great to mix with coffee.
Great to mix with coffee too. Put it in your coffee for your creamer, okay? In a fantastic way to get some protein. Right before I went to bed at night, I'd slam my protein with one of these, and it'd be a great way to get my protein instead of eating a half a can of tuna. Sometimes I just got tired of eating half a can of tuna. So I found these. I didn't find these till the second week into keto, or I would have eliminated a lot of fish and still be swimming around in the oceans, because I ate a lot of tuna. Literally 10 o'clock at night, I'm like shoving a half a can of tuna down my face. Okay, and almonds. You got to hit your goal. So what the app does, it'll tell you if you have a certain amount of, you can put in 4, 5, 6, 7 almonds and you hit your goal. 7 almonds, and I go over and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 almonds and eat 7 almonds and go to bed. Because you got to hit your fat and you got to hit your protein every single day. So things like these proteins and things like almonds are really good. Tuna, fish oil, for at the end of the day, getting that last 5 or 10 grams of either fat or carb. If you have to have some fruit, you want to eat the berries. Stay away from mangoes, pineapples, bananas, they're deadly. Okay? A lot of carbs in those. So you can make a little bit of this, use water. There's actually a great smoothie that I found. You can Google keto smoothies, put in raspberry, avocado, keto smoothie. And what you did is put half an avocado instead of the other fruit, like the mango or the pineapple, and that would be the texture. And you would do a cup of raspberry, and you would, maybe I would throw in 1 or 2 strawberries, because these are a B. These are an A+. Strawberries are a B, limited portion, okay? But I like that little strawberry flavor, and then I'd use water, a little bit of coconut oil, or coconut milk. And I put coconut milk in my smoothie, which was really good. And then, because you don't have the mango sweetness, or you don't have the pineapple, or the bananas, which is what brings the sweetness out in a smoothie, you buy the fake sugar, the stevia. You squeeze a little stevia in there, and all of a sudden, I'm telling you, that raspberry avocado smoothie is incredible. I'm still eating them. I'm addicted to them. They're fantastic. Avocados are A+. Avocados are wonderful. Okay? Again, peanuts and almonds, but you want to scan it, because some of these have flavoring on them. You know, they have like the flavored peanuts, whatever they're called. Stay away from the flavored. You want to buy the unsalted ones. The flavored ones have a lot of carbs. That's what makes that, you know, maple flavored or whatever, peanuts, whatever they're called. You want to stay away from those and just get the regular boring ones. But this is easy for snack too. You can make a, you know, handful of them and take it with you in the middle of the day, and that's your snack. Where you might have gotten a candy bar in the middle of the day. At least I would have gotten a Snickers bar. You got to have your chocolate fix. You can buy Hershey's Cocoa. There's no carbs in this. It's just original. Yeah, you can throw this in with that milk and then have a chocolate smoothie or something with the cocoa. Or chocolate coffee if you like. So we're going to hold on to this. We're going to talk about your muffins in a minute. Montreal steak seasonings, all of these. Most of them are 0 carbs. See how it says OK? This was one of the things I went through and put all my OKs. Some of them are 1 or 2. Like the maple flavored ones are 1 or 2, so I wouldn't use those. But all the Montreal steaks, chicken, all those different seasonings, these are great. So you can season your steak and get the flavor back, and there's 0 carbs. So that's why I got OK. This is from my counter there, or from my cabinet. The Zero Powerade. Because the hardest thing for me is you drink a lot of water on this diet, and the app actually helps you count your water. You got to drink a lot of water. Also helps to fill you up, but you got to drink a lot of water on this. Well, water gets so boring. God, I wanted a freaking Coke. so bad. So I found these, and these are one carb. And they got the blue ones, they got the purple ones, they got the orange ones. These are great. So I could have 2 or 3 of these throughout the day, and that got me off my, horrible starvation of water. I was just like so done with water. Then I found these. I didn't find these till like the second I called Mike. He's like, what? And he raced over and bought like 20 of them. Now I live on these things. These things are great because they're only one carb. But you have that sugary flavor that you're missing. That's something else that you miss a little bit is the sugar. But this isn't really sugar, but it's got that sweet flavor. Okay? And then one of the, quote, negatives of this is you're not eating a lot of fiber. We're not eating any bread. We're not eating any rice. We're not eating any fiber. So the first week you do get a little constipated. So what you want to do is you can go to like GNC and you can buy these colon cleanses, which is just high fiber. And 1 scoop is like 6 carbs. So that day you got to pay attention to the rest of your carbs because you're starting your day with 6. So this will help regulate you. So about every 4th day, I would really watch my carbs on everything else, and I'd have 1 or 1.5 tablespoons of this, and that would make up for all the bread that I didn't eat that week and all the other fiber that I wasn't getting. They sell this right here at the pharmacy. They sell it at the GNC in Liberia, across from the Burger King by the big jumbo. Okay, and there's different ones of these. This is just one, but again, scan it because some of these are A+, and some of these colon cleanses are B, and some are F because they have other things in it too. Okay, so make sure you always scan. And my rule was simple. Sometimes you scan it and it's a Costa Rican product and it doesn't come up. But if you type in the product, you'll find the American version of it and it will tell you A, B, or F. But my rule was simple. If I wasn't sure, I just didn't buy it. I just didn't eat it. If I wasn't 100% sure that it was what I wanted to do, I just didn't eat it. No, I don't need that. Screw it. I'll go with something else. I'll go with something that I know works and not take any chances. Okay? Diet ginger ale, the lifesaver. Yes, everybody's question, can you drink alcohol? You can drink alcohol on this diet. But can't drink beer, can't drink a rum and coke, can't drink a margarita, can't drink a pina colada, okay? Can't drink, Cokes and those things. What can you drink? Most alcohol, again, you put it in the app, but you can drink vodka, you can drink gin, you can drink whiskey, you can drink tequila, you can drink rum, and then either mix it with club soda, or Diet Coke, or Diet Ginger Ale, or water, or on the rocks with a lot of lime, okay? But again, you want to lower your alcohol intake because what happens when you take alcohol is at night when you go to bed, the first thing your body has to do is burn off the alcohol before it goes back to burning off the fat. And what I noticed is on the couple days that we went out and really tied it on, I woke up and didn't lose as much pounds as I did the day that I only had 1 or 2 drinks versus 6 or 7. So, if you can just have 1 or 2. Can you have a glass of wine? Yes, but it's 4 or 5 carbs. So you gotta understand, you're taking 25% of your daily carbs for a day with a glass of wine. I had a couple glasses of wine, but again, I saved those for that night, or maybe I had no low carbs that day. I looked at the end of the day, and I only used 12 of my 20. I'm like, great, celebrate with a glass of wine, and I'm still below my 20. But you don't want to burn up all your carbs with things like the coffee mate and a glass of wine, because you're going to need those carbs throughout the day for some of your vegetables and some of the other stuff that you want to do. Okay, peanut butter, fantastic. Okay, Parmesan cheese, all cheeses, fantastic, wonderful. Lots of cheese, lots of. And then what kind of carbs can you eat? Well, here's what I found. Avocados are great. The other thing that worked for me, I love tomatoes. Most green vegetables are okay. Broccoli, zucchini, not green beans, but broccoli, cauliflower, wonderful. Okay. Carrots, horrible. Can't eat a carrot. High carbs. All beans, high carbs. So you can eat, I'd eat some zucchini, I'd eat some broccoli. And cabbage, yeah. And then what I would do is I would make, like let's say I was grilling a steak at home. I would take some broccoli. What I do is take a tablespoon of coconut oil, and you type in tablespoon of coconut oil. Okay. I put a cup of broccoli, and then some sliced almonds, and I'd saute them, and I'd make a little broccoli almond thing, and I'd eat that. Here's the key when you're cooking. Let's say you make 2 eggs, make scrambled eggs, and you cook them in the coconut oil. When you put them on your plate, a lot of your oil's still in the pan. That oil needs to be in your mouth, because you need to get that tablespoon of oil. Take a spatula and scrape all the oil out of your omelet pan and put it on top of the eggs and eat the egg, and then use your tomato to wipe up, and literally I'm not kidding, I would lick the plate. When I had mahi for lunch at El Bolero, I found certain meals that I knew I could always eat So I would have my ham and cheese omelet with lots of cheese in the morning with sliced tomatoes. For lunch, I would go get a grilled piece of mahi-mahi at El Valero with garlic butter. Okay? And if there was garlic butter left in that little white thing, I'd drink it down. I hit my butter every day. And again, I like sliced tomatoes, or maybe I got some mixed veggies. And then it would come and I'd push all the carrots out and just eat the good stuff, the green stuff. Dinner here, best thing you can eat here, the best thing that they got is a filet mignon with their Greek salad. If you go into this app and put in Greek salad, it says 1 cup. Well, you get 2 sides with whatever they got. And everybody knows my meal here is filet mignon, bacon wrap, so I got an extra piece of bacon. And my 2 sides would be 2 cups of Greek salad. And I lived on that. I probably ate 20 of those, at least 20 of those the month I was here. The filet mignon and the Greek salad. Fantastic. Okay.
Taco Tuesday at El Valero.
Taco Tuesday at El Valero, just don't eat the tortillas.
Lettuce.
Okay, or just ask for a big piece of lettuce and make the taco like a lettuce wrap from P.F. Chang's and eat the lettuce instead of the tortilla. Stay away from. If you want a cheeseburger, I order cheeseburgers just without the bread. Anywhere you go here, people will give you what you want. I would say I want a club sandwich, no bread, and they look at me in the beginning. Then they knew later, and so they'd have the chicken, the ham, the bacon, the lettuce, the tomato, the cheese, and I just eat it with a knife and fork with 2 or 3 sliced tomatoes on the side instead of French fries. So you can still order those things, just get rid of the bread. The bread's the deal killer. Okay. 1 piece of bread bounces you out of ketosis, and you're literally 1 piece of bread will bounce you out of ketosis. But Mike came up with an amazing, well, probably Yosta, knowing how the world works, because Yosta runs Mike's life. So he sent me this thing. I made recipes for everybody. It's called a microwave minute muffin in a mug. Okay. And if you type it in your app, it'll come up and tells you 5 carbs or whatever it is. So you take 3 tablespoons of the almond flour, 1 tablespoon of coconut flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda. I did that the first time. Ooh, baking soda is the shit you put in your fridge, to clean out your fridge. Woo, that was not a very good muffin. Then I went and bought baking powder. You learn on this stuff. And then a dash of avocado oil and an egg. So you mix the egg first in the coffee cup. It's all mixed up. Then you put all that in there. You mix it up, and it just becomes like dough. Stick it in the microwave for 1 minute. Boom, it's a muffin. It's incredible. You take it out, you cut it into 4 pieces, and this is where I'd solve my fixes. So on one of them, I'd smother it in butter, tablespoon of butter. The other one, I'd smother it in cream cheese. The other 1/4, I'd smother it in peanut butter. And the other more, I'd put in Smucker's sugar-free strawberry jelly, jam. Because like peanut butter and jelly, the purple jelly is like massive amounts of sugar. So it's an F. But the sugar-free Smuckers that they sell, and that would be, I'd hit all my fixes in the morning. I'd get a ton of fat. I'd get my bread fix with the muffin, and I'd have my bulletproof cup of coffee. Mike and I talk like 5:30 every morning. We're up early, and every time we talk, he's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "Making my bulletproof coffee." He's like, "Me too. I'm already on my 2nd one today." Okay. Another thing that's really important, about every 5th day, you got to fast. Very important. So about every 5th day, you eat your meal at 8 o'clock at night. Then the next day, don't eat any breakfast. Just have your bulletproof coffee. That will give you energy. That coconut oil, let me tell you, will give you a lot of energy. That 1 cup of coffee will give you the juice of like 3 or 4 cups of coffee, the energy. And then do not eat until lunchtime, about 1 o'clock. And by kind of starving your body for that 12 hours or 15, 16 hours, you really burn some fat. But you only want to do that about every 5th day. Okay? But then you'll see it that night when you go to bed. Those are the days that I lost like 2 pounds.
Every 5th day you fast until lunchtime.
Right, so you eat dinner, and then you don't eat until about 1 o'clock the next day. You don't eat breakfast. You skip breakfast. But have, a cup of coffee if you need it, or you can have your glass of 0 carb orange juice. Put something a little bit in your stomach to get you going, but don't eat any food. And then just let yourself kind of go for 16 hours. If you eat dinner at 8 o'clock at night, by noon or 1 the next day, then that next night when you wake up in the morning, those are the days you see 2 pounds, that I would see a kilo come off in 1 day. Because your body just goes into overdrive because it thinks you're really starving to death now, right? You don't have any carbs, and all of a sudden you don't have any protein and any fat. You just go into total starvation mode.
I'm like, going to exercise is so important.
You got to exercise. You got to exercise a little bit more. You don't have to necessarily, go nuts with your exercise, but you got to exercise more, walk a little bit harder to try to put your body into, a little bit extra mode. Dan, you want to add some stuff about what you've done?
Yeah, so I was in Texas, and a friend of mine really got me started on this. And it sounded a little crazy to me, but I committed to it, and it's difficult. It's not easy. You have to stick with it. It sounds really crazy. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, and it didn't make sense to me when I started. And just take your time and make the commitment to do it, and do it. You got to stick with it. You can't cheat. It's real easy when you have kids that they're eating cookies and candy, and if you know my wife, she bakes chocolate chip cookies and cake and everything else, and you just have to have the willpower to stop and just not eat that.
Here's the thing for those of you that have kids, you're gonna have to make 2 meals. So you're gonna have to make your kids, don't put your kids on keto. Your kids need carbs, man. They need their rice, they need their beans, they need their bread, they need everything. Your kids, they need that energy. They're burning it. So don't starve your kids to death, okay? Make your kids the normal food. But let's say you made beans and rice and chicken for your kids. Well, then you just eat the chicken and slice a few sliced tomatoes, cook that chicken in butter, okay? Pour butter over the top or coconut oil so you're getting your extra fat. Maybe put a slice of avocado on top of your chicken. Your kids still have their beans and rice or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or whatever you're giving your kids or your grandkids. They still got their pizza, but then you could order. And when I went out with friends that weren't on keto, I used to say, order whatever you want, drink whatever you want, and I would stick to my diet. And my buddy that came down from Texas, John, came here for his birthday, and all week he was drinking beer and partying and doing everything you should do in Costa Rica on your birthday, and I was sticking to my diet, and he went home, and he's lost 27 pounds since he went home in 30 days. The day he went back, because he was watching what I was doing and keeping track of what I was doing, he's calling me every few days, oh my God, I lost another 5 pounds, right? So these guys are going to talk a little bit about some of the recipes, because these guys, I didn't cook. I mean, I grilled steaks, I grilled chicken, I made omelets, I made, that kind of stuff, but I didn't make meals. These guys have made some amazing meals. So tell them some of the stuff that you've made.
We've made some great pizza with almond flour, with coconut flour, cheese. We've got lots of recipes. Yesterday we made chocolate chip cookies with almond flour, coconut flour, basic unsweetened chocolate chips, chocolate sweet.
Yeah, this stuff. But
They're
the
awesome.
chocolate chips.
They're
Yeah.
awesome. It's incredible. If you go onto the internet, there's so many recipes for keto. You think that you're so limited at first. When I first looked at this diet, my doctor told me to go out, and I said, I'm going to diet. I can't do this. It's not a chance in my health. But
Yeah,
once,
Jones said, you don't have a choice. You got to do it with me.
Yeah.
You'll never survive.
But once you start researching, Mike and I were like old women changing recipes back and forth every day. But there's so many good options. It's just you have to redirect your whole thinking on what you're going to eat and what you're not. I did the same as Michael. I used to wake up in the morning and put mango and melons and oranges into my smoothie, thinking that I was doing the best things in my life. I got diabetes. That's the worst thing I could possibly ever do. And then I've learned, since I've been on this diet, it's been the best thing for...
What he's saying is he used to wake up and eat a lot of fruit. And he thought he was eating healthy, and fruit is healthy, but when it's a good chunk of your diet here. So the goal is you're not giving this stuff up for the rest of your life. The idea of keto is you do it for 30 days, then maybe you do it a second 30 days if you need to. You hit your goal, and then you just learn a healthy lifestyle. Life, under control, get your weight under control, be happy with yourself again, and then slowly, but the funny thing is everything I eat now, it just makes me think about it before I eat it. Whereas before I would just eat it. I didn't think about it. I didn't just ate anything. And now I would think about it, and I get my little phone out, and I put my little app in, and I'm not counting my carbs anymore, okay? I'm off of that. But I still, every day I'm on my app, seeing how many carbs something is, or reminding myself, and I might only eat half of that instead of twice, or I might take it off, right? And so that's the idea. It's not that, you can never eat fruit again. No, but the idea is for 30 or 60 days, or maybe 90 days. Maybe you got to do it 3 times, okay, to hit the goal that you want, because some people's bodies are different. Some people take a little bit longer to burn weight. Some people are a little bit more overweight, whatever it might be. But once you hit your goal, and if you Google these recipes that are online, it's incredible. Everything. And the app also, the Keto Recipe app has hundreds. These guys made something called keto rice, cauliflower rice, and it tastes just like real rice, especially when you put chicken in there with some almonds and maybe some hot sauce, because most hot sauces had 0 carbs. Tabasco and some of those are 0 carbs, and all of a sudden it tastes just like rice. By itself, it tastes like cauliflower. But when you mix it with all this other stuff and give it some flavoring, it was great.
There's a website called All I Do Is Think About Food All Day.
All I do is think about food all day. That's the website.
And it's wonderful.
All I do is think about food all day. Well, you'll find that you can take any burrito, with the exception of the rice, but all these wraps that they make, and tell them to just put it on a salad and just eliminate it. So you can have, they have all these great Caesar chicken mushroom wraps and stuff that everybody has, and fish wraps. Father Rooster has a great fish wrap, and just tell them, without the burrito, just put it on a bed of lettuce, and it just becomes a salad. And it's super easy, and just eliminate the flour tortilla, which is just the deal killer. Sure, we could do a Facebook group page or something.
Keto page. Coco Keto.
That'd be great. No, Coco Keto. Call it Coco Keto. That's great.
Coco Keto.
Yeah, and start that tomorrow, Lisa, and then we can all join it. If you stick to the big groups, the chicken, the fish, the steaks, if you cook with some asparagus at home, that's great. Roll it in some olive oil. Then you get that extra olive oil when you grill it, and you can put some of these seasonings on it. They got some like the jalapeno seasonings that are great. Kent actually did that at my house. He came over. We bought some asparagus. We rolled it in olive oil, put a jalapeno seasoning on it, and grilled it on the grill. It was incredible with a steak. So you just got to get creative a little bit. But there's so much stuff on the internet that really, if you don't know, just Google the internet. Ask people. People will help you.